It's the infectious smile that gets you. When you think of the consummate consumer reporter, the beaming image of Orien Reid appears. For nearly half a century, Orien served her Delaware Valley TV and radio audience as a trusted companion and advisor. She began her broadcasting career at KYW News Radio in 1972. A year later, she was welcomed into television homes from a new set at KYW TV. In 1979, she relocated to City Avenue and WCAU-TV, where her investigative reports saved us from many hidden consumer pitfalls. Her awards are a testament to the respect of her peers. Orien continued to grow in communications, public affairs, and community relations. 2 decades ago, she formed a media consulting business, Consumer Connection. We saw another side of her talent when she appeared as consumer spokesperson for ShopRite supermarkets. Orien won kudos for her volunteer work with the Alzheimer's Association. In 1991, she organized the Alzheimer's Association of Southeast Pennsylvania's first fundraising memory walk. As chair of the 1997 Memory Walk, she helped raise almost $500,000. It didn't stop there. She became the first woman to chair one of the largest voluntary health associations in the United States, as chairwoman of the National Board of the Alzheimer's Association. Orien extended her commitment as chair of Alzheimer's Disease International, and she took on a vital role with the advisory board of the University of Pennsylvania Institute on Aging. Woman's Day magazine tapped Orien as one of 4 women to receive the National Women Who Inspire Us Award. Please welcome Orien Reid and her ever-present reassuring smile into the Broadcast Pioneers Hall of Fame.
You know, my background is one that is not what usually you would think of when you look at what I did. One of my best friends, Artis Hall, who's sitting down at our table, Artis Hall was one who said to me, I couldn't believe his gall. He said to me, I had on a sort of short leather suit, and he said to me, young lady, has anyone ever told you that you have some gorgeous legs? And I looked at him and I said, you don't know me that well. And he was just such a kind man who helped me with so many things. And we became fast buddies, and everybody at the station from time to time they'd say, well, what's going on between you and Artis? And I said, well, nothing's going on. And I said, you know, I already have somebody. I'm seeing someone. And I was going back and forth. My husband then was living down in Washington because he's a pharmacist, retired pharmacist. And they said, you've got to come down here and take care of this particular problem we have. And so he did. And fortunately, my general manager said to me, you know, I know that you want to go and see Charlie. He's in DC. And he said, let me just tell you this. You don't ever have to ask me permission to go and see Charlie. Just whatever you decide to do, whenever you have to leave, you can leave and get on that train so you can see him. Because I know one thing, you're going to be working all the way down there and all the way back. And he was so right about that. And, you know, when I think about it, I've just always been the kind of person who wanted to help people. And I was a social worker. I have a MSW in social work. And I wanted to really help people, and I didn't want to see people get cheated in any way. And so for me, this has been a wonderful job, a wonderful career. I've been able to do things for the Alzheimer's Association. I was elected chair of the board of the Alzheimer's Association, and I decided, I said to my general manager that I was going to retire. And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, what are you going to do? You know, we'd like to have you come back and do some things." And I said, in television, it's not part-time work. I mean, it's full-time work. And he said, "Well, okay, but we'd like for you to still stay." And just having that kind of confidence in me just made the job that I was doing really a good job to have. And I'm grateful that I was able to do that, and I was grateful to be able to do things, to do the kinds of stories that people understood, and I wanted to make sure that they didn't get ripped off. And it's just been eye-opening to me when I see somebody in the grocery store and they say, "You're Miss Reid, aren't you?" And I'll say, "Yes, I am." And they start talking about it. And I've been gone from television since 1998. I mean, that was just a long time. And it just humbled me. You know, some people can get into a business like that and think that it's all about them. Well, it's not. If you really want to do a good job, and help people, then you have to commit yourself to doing that. And that's what I always felt that I needed to do. I wanted to do right by the public. And I tried very hard to do that the entire time that I was in television. I'm glad now to say that I'm very proud of the fact that the Alzheimer's Association honored me recently, saying that they honored me with an incredible legacy. The head of the Alzheimer's Association called one of the staff and said, "We want to honor her." And he said, well, I said, "Well, why?" And he said, "Well, do you know that in the history of the Alzheimer's Association, you started the walk to end Alzheimer's, and I now have Alzheimer's disease myself, but it's not something that I hide or anything like that, and I'm really glad to say, yeah, I do, but I'm really happy about what I do too as well, and I'm grateful that so many people have expressed their opinions about, how just thankfulness for the kind of work that I try to do. So I am really honored by this. I really am, and I'm looking forward to just continuing to be the person that I am. I'm not going to change. You can bet that. I'll be the same tomorrow and the next day as I am, as I've always been. So this is a great career, and you have to be honest with this career. And I just, I'm happy that I was able to do that. And I'm glad that people like my work. So thank you so much, and I'm honored by this.